Guys, how you doing? This is Mango etc. and I'm here today to bring you the review for One Piece episode 701. And now this whole episode was spent on Law's past, Law's flashbacks, so that was good. I was really surprised to see that they spent the whole episode on Law's past. I thought at some point that they would have flipped back to the whole fighting of Don Flamingo and Luffy and Law, but they didn't. We spent the whole episode on Law's past, which was good. So the episode starts 100 weeks, 100, you know, 1 week after Law first got thrown away by Corazon, and we just find out how. So he's been there a week now, and over dinner, so the executives are having dinner, Doflamingo and the executives are having dinner, and Law walks in, and we just basically find out from Trable. He goes to Law and says, so you've been here a week now, like you wouldn't be the first person to have walked away after a week. Why are you still here? And to this, Law responds that he says I've been through hell, and basically this is nothing to him. Like he can deal with all this, is nothing to him. Shortly after this is when the executives notice for the first time Law's skin and how it's a bit white, like whiter than usual, whiter than, okay, I'm not gonna say that that's slightly racist, but yeah, he noticed the white skin, and that's when Joa bugs out, and she's like, oh my gosh, you've got the white lead disease, stay away from me, it's contagious. But at this time we find out through Don Flamingo that it's not contagious. Yeah, we just find out that it's not contagious, and as the episode goes on, we get to see the executives on job. They're doing some sort of job for Don Flamingo, and yeah, that scene was nice, and I will talk about it a bit more. But what is more important is what they are talking about during the scene, and that is just basically about all this information involving Law's past. We find out about the White Town. We find out that the name of the town is called Flavance, and we just basically get to find out why it's known as the White Town. And it is known as the White Town because they found underground a white lead, and this white lead is just a material that is used to make loads of things from without the town. We get to see that the rooftops were made out of this white lead. There was a water fountain made out of this white lead, and this town's world government and royalty was just profiting off of this white lead all this time. And we just later go on to find out that this white lead is also poisonous. It's not poisonous, like left alone it's not harmful to anybody, but through touching it starts to erode your skin. And we just later go on to find out how that so if I touch white lead, it's not harmful. It is harmful to me, but it's less harmful to me than when I have a kid, because he'll also be affected by this white lead, and when my kid has a kid, he'll also be affected by this white lead. And we find out that as the generations go on, that generation's lifespan is shorter than the one before it. And so we go on, we also learn that throughout the episode that how as the generations went on, so the lifespans got shorter, but one day came when people just started dying at the same time. So my generation died at the same time as 2 generations further. So this made it look like that the white lead disease was contagious and that everybody was dying at the same time. So the White Town Flavors ended up being like quarantined off. Yeah, it just ended up being quarantined off, and then the government of the White Town, they managed to escape before this happened, and I think the royals did as well. But yeah, they were quarantined off, and then so all the normal civilians were quarantined off, and they didn't like this. Basically, they basically tried to explain that it's not contagious, like there's no need to quarantine us off, and a few of them tried to escape, but those that those that did try to escape and managed to get past the gate were automatically killed by the guards that were guarding the area. Eventually, a war broke out, and we're just, I don't know where they came from, but people just ambushed right into the White Town flavors, and eventually everyone was killed. But the only known survivor was Law. He managed to get out. We find out during the episode that he managed to get out through escaping through. He basically camouflaged himself with not camouflage, but camouflaged himself with dead bodies, and he was able to escape that way. So far, I have to say that Law's past is really deep, because we learned that he lost everyone that he essentially cared about. In the episode, we find out that he had a mom, a dad, a sister, and he just learned he just lost all of them to this white lead disease. Because we see that how in the episode, his sister's one of the first to go, really, when she collapses when on the way to the festival. We find out that the mum and dad was killed when like this war broke out as well. We find out that how like all the children in the town as well, they were killed as well. There was a nun there as well, she got killed. Like Law had a really deep past, just to see his whole town wiped out, and I can understand why he's a bit messed up in the head, a bit why he doesn't care about anything, why he says that he's been through hell. I can completely understand that completely, because if that was to happen to me, then boy, I might just pull the trigger myself. Now, on a serious note, I do feel for Law right now. Yeah, and it's deep. Another thing that I did like about this episode was how obviously in the anime you get stuff extended from what was in the manga. I did like that. I did like the extended stuff. I felt that it added to the seriousness, the deepness, the sadness of the episode itself, and I think it helped to deliver the impact that it needed, that wasn't shown in the manga. I do believe the anime has yet again done a better job than the manga. The anime has done a better job than the manga. I said that right. And yeah, that's the episode really. Another thing I do want to mention is that how I think the executives look in better shape now than they did. Another thing that I want to mention is how I think that the executives look in better shape when they were younger than they do now. Obviously, we see Senor Pink, and he's just a slim guy now. He's not rocking the baby clothes, and he just looks in better shape. And same for Mark Vice, and definitely Joa. I don't know what happened to her. But yeah, that's just the last thing I wanted to mention before I call it the episode. Oh yeah, at the end of the episode we see Law and he stabs Corazon, and Buffalo sees this, and we find out that he has broken the law, which I should have mentioned earlier. In the Don Flamingo Pirates, he has a law, and that law is if you ever violate one of my executives, then it's trouble for you basically. And we find out during the episode as well that Buffalo violated this law when he laughed at Pika and he almost died for it. So the fact that he has now stabbed Corazon and Buffalo has seen it, this should mean trouble for Law. But we'll see what happens next time. So my rating is going to be a 4-star rating for this episode, and that's it, simply because of the deepness of the episode, and I really liked it, so I think it deserves a 4-star. So like always guys, I'm asking for your thoughts and opinions. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, but most importantly, take care, have a nice day.